Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on the Slanted Lens, I'm going to show you my favorite lighting setup for photographing or filming food. Not only that, we're going to show you a great parallax move that really brings that food alive and makes it look really stunning. Let's get started. Here we go. Wow, that's a mouthful, but it's good. On April 30th, I've got my first workshop. Come and let me mentor you on how to shoot in all different lighting situations. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Okay, so let's take a look at our lighting setup here. When I shoot food, I just love a top-back light. The reality is when you take a look at any kind of a subject matter, anything that's in the 0, which is at the camera, to 90 degrees, that area, 0 to 90 degrees, goes from super flat to a little better. I think light looks better when you cross 90 degrees. So at 95 degrees, 100 degrees, when you slowly get slightly behind the subject matter. Food is exactly that. If this light was coming in from the front, this food is going to be flat. When you get it up, I now have all the shadows that drop towards the camera. Just gives you a nice separation as you go down. So one light, just that simple light from behind, kind of separates everything, throws a little bit of shadow to the subject matter. So now this is not people. We're photographing objects. And I just love that top-back look. If you add to that, I love a kind of a rim light off the camera left side. So I'm going to add this vector light right here. And you can see in the example, I've now added just a little bit of a kind of a side light. And I like this one to be just a little more punchy than this one on the top because it'll give me a nice kind of highlights on the glass. It'll give me a little bit of highlights on some of our subject matter. Anything that's moist, it's going to give us a highlight on. When I shoot top back, the biggest problem with shooting top back is this. If this bread is up like this, major highlights because I'm getting just an instant angle straight off in the bread. So I just get the thing up, let the shadow fall forward. I can get that point, and you see it there, right there. Kate can see it right there, where I just get the shadow just enough that I start to get a little bit of highlight across the front of the bread and it looks pretty. One of the reasons why I like this dark background for this food to be on is because it can take a lot of light, that top back light, and it's not going to overexpose. It looks really nice. Now I'm going to add something to separate it from the background. I've got a nice blue background back there, and this will help me to it'll give me a little bit of highlight in my bottles and the things. We start out shooting honey, the very first shot. So when I turn this backlight on, it really does a nice job of separating that honey. It gives us a glow in the little pot of honey. It gives us a nice light. You can raise this up, make it brighter or darker. I kept it pretty subdued, just kind of give me a little bit of wash of blue from the bottom, horizon up, and it gives me a nice look there. So there's my first 3 lights. I've got a top back, a side back, and a background. Everything's from behind. Now you can bring in, and you can put in here, if you feel like this is too dark, the honey shot we did was not. Some of the other food shots you'll see in this, there's a whole series of food shots we did for a commercial for a company called iGourmet. You'll bring in a white card and you kind of let this light from the front bounce back in and open up the shadows of the objects in the front. You kind of use those sparingly. I want this to be bright. I don't want that. Or I want the whole thing to be bright, and we bring it in. The last light we added was a fill light from the camera, so we put a vector light back at the camera, behind the camera. Turned that on, and that just opened up all the shadows a little bit in the foreground. Not much. We kept that very low because most of our subjects are in glass containers and we didn't need a lot of fill from the foreground. So we've got this great top back light, but now what do we do as we film this thing? How are we going to make it come alive and look interesting? You know, the difference between a photographer and a filmmaker is camera movement. So we want the camera to move. We want the camera to always be moving. And so to accomplish that, we got 2 or 3 different things. We use a slider, obviously, because that gives us a solid platform for the camera to just simply move in our scene. The very first thing we're going to do is called just a standard linear move. We're going to move from right to left. And I'm going to measure out. I want to move about 1.5 feet. I don't need to go very far. In that 1.5 feet, I'm going to leave my focus on the foreground, and that's the subject matter, the olives. As I arrive there, they'll be in focus. So I've got it set up to be able to get my first move here. I got my recording and I hit start, and as I record, as we go across, this is now going to just romance across. I'm not going to use all of this by any means. I'm going to use it as it comes in right now, as I get to my olives and I start to show my subject matter. Now the things in the background are moving at a different pace than the foreground. It looks very interesting. It's a very nice looking shot. I'll let it run and get it past my olives and onto that because I don't know where I'm going to want to get out of it, or if I want to come back to it later and use it again. But I get both of those. So I've got that nice little move. I've got this set to come back, so it goes right back to 1, so I can do it again. So there's your first and easiest way to use a slider. The second thing is my favorite, and it's a parallax move. That means that the camera is moving in a horizontal fashion, but the subject matter always stays in the center of the frame. And so what happens is the camera is moving right to left, and the lens is moving from left to right. It's going to slowly crab back and look at your subject matter. So that just kind of past the subject matter always stays in the middle. It's a wonderful look. So let's take a look at how we can do our parallax move using our Syrp system. First off, our Genie is going to give us our right to left, our linear, and our Genie Mini is going to give us our parallax. It's going to pull the camera back from left to right. I've taken and I've, on my phone app, gotten the Genie so that I can zero it out. When I look straight at the olives, it's on 0 degrees on the little ball head here. This is a ball head made by Syrp, which makes it so easy. Now, when I go to the last position, so now when I get to the last position, I simply take this, refocus it on my olives. I look down at my degrees and it says at 27, about 20, a little over 25, so I'm going to say 27 degrees. I simply punch that into my move on the bottom that I'm going to go 1.5 feet with my Genie, and it's going to go 27 degrees clockwise with the Genie Mini, and that's going to give me my parallax. One thing that's important to understand about a parallax move is that when you're doing like an interview and you're quite a ways away from the subject, as long as you're about the same distance from them on right and left, your focus is going to stay pretty close because you're not changing the focus distance enough to really affect it. But when you're using a macro lens and you're getting in close, your focus on a parallax move is going to come in and out. It's going to really move. So you have to use that to your advantage. You use it to move the focus into the subject matter, and now it's in focus at the very end. That's a pretty move. And it's really nice to do with this 90mm macro from Tamron because I can get in really close and I can do those kind of small moves on small subject matter in there, and it looks really pretty. The reason you'd use a linear move versus a parallax move is a linear move becomes a reveal. That is, you slowly slide in and you reveal your subject matter. So depending on the pacing of your piece and how you want to really introduce your subject matter, you can use a linear move saying, well, here we are in this world, we're not sure where we're at, and oh, it's this beautiful piece of jewelry. It's it becomes a great way to introduce. It also becomes a great way to keep your motion going from right to left. You can go from a parallax move and you cut to a linear move. It just gives you those two together will allow you to kind of cut back and forth. The parallax, I think, is beautiful because it focuses on one piece and lets the focus kind of drift in and out. It's very dreamy, and I just feel like it gives added emphasis to the subject matter and kind of emphasizes the subject matter. So they both have a place. They both have a way that make them valuable and useful on set. You can absolutely mix them together to kind of give you a sense of constant movement throughout your piece. So there you have it, a wonderful glimpse at the world of shooting food. Wonderful top-back light and those nice slider moves, but it's just a glimpse. There's so much more we can learn. This lighting setup will work for video as well as stills, strobes, or continuous light, doesn't matter. It's the same principles. You can apply it each way. So get out there, shoot some food, understand a little more. This is just a start. There are so many more things we can talk about, but get out there and try it. Make it a part of your world. So keep those cameras rolling, keep on clicking. March is almost over, but the giveaway is not done. Go to theslanteddlens.com and win this 2-axis setup. It's great equipment by Syrp. Get over there right now.